Let me ask you something. How many times you have built something locally and it works perfectly, but then someone asks you, can I see it? And then you just freeze. Or carry your bulky laptop all around in the office to his table. Or maybe you are just trying to test a webhook URL and that third party over there, it requires a real URL. But because your endpoint is on localhost and suddenly your entire workflow just falls apart. Well, normally you would reach to ngrok or deploy it to a cloud and just pray that it works. But today that's going to change. I'm going to show you something that is sitting inside VS Code or Visual Studio this whole time, completely free, no extra installs, no extra cost or no other sign up. And most developers, they have never really tested. And that is called the dev tunnels. And by the end of this video, you will never think about the local host the same way again. Now, dev tunnels put your local host on the internet temporarily, securely, and instantly. Now, here is how you should think about it. Think of your laptop as a shop that is only open to people right outside the door. Now, dev tunnels give that shop a particular street address so that anyone, anywhere can just walk in. And the moment you close your laptop, the shop disappears. When you run your app locally, it lives on localhost, which is basically your machine talking to itself. Nothing outside can reach it. Whereas dev tunnels create a secure bridge between your machine and the Microsoft server on the cloud. And that server, it gets a public URL. And any request that hits that URL gets forwarded straight into your app, running right here. Now, this is a small application that I've built. It's a simple to-do app built using React and TypeScript. Now, running this is pretty easy. I just have to do npm run dev and I'm done. I can just copy this URL or hit it from here. And now I can paste this URL over here and use the app. I can add a new task. This is a simple to-do app and I can add new task just like that. But again, only on my local host. Now, what if I had to showcase this app to someone else? I cannot give him a localhost URL. So I've got a solution today. And how do we do that? Okay, so now I'm back into my VS Code and you see this ports tab over here? Just hit that and over here we will see this option to forward a port. I'm going to hit that and over here it is going to ask me which port do you want to forward. Now my app is running on 5174. I'm going to choose that and hit enter. And we see that there is a port forwarding session that VS Code is enabling for me. Now I've got this or forwarded address over here. This is right now private, so only I can access this. First, let us hit that and let's see if we are able to access this app over there. So it is now connecting. Okay, so now this is telling me that you are going to connect to a developer tunnel which is running at this port. Now this is not a real website address, but it is a tunnel address. I'm going to hit continue and I see that my app is now running fully functional on this address and not on a local address. Now I can copy this address and share it with my team or someone like 1000 kilometers apart from me. Or I can actually do a mobile testing for my application on a real mobile because I've got a URL which I can hit anywhere. So I'm going to test this live on my phone. So now this will require you to log in via your GitHub. So I'm going to log in. And once logged in, I'll be redirected to that tunnel URL. And once I'm on that, my task is up on my mobile device now. Now I can actually do a mobile testing without any mobile emulator. I can do it live on my phone without running any other server just to see my app on my phone. Let's do a quick testing on the phone. Yes, it works. I can also cancel this. Let's add one more task, make it high. Yeah. Or we have got all my app running on my mobile device just by pointing to my dev tunnel. Isn't that so cool? Now, few things to take care of when you do a port forwarding using VS Code dev tunneling. You can set the visibility of your dev tunnel to private or you can make it public. Also, you could change the protocol that you are trying to use. You could either run this tunnel on HTTP or you could run this on an HTTPS. And then when you are done, when your demo is over, when your collaboration is over, you can stop the port forwarding over here. Okay, now let me show you one more quick example. This project here is a GitHub webhook URL. So it listens to GitHub whenever someone does any changes to my repository. this project over here should receive that event from GitHub. Now, when you try to register such a webhook on a third party site, you would need an actual URL and not a localhost URL. So let me show you a very quick thing over here. Let me first start this project and npm start. So now this project is running at this localhost 3001. Now I'm going to go to my ports. I'm going to start a port forwarding on 3001, and I can see that the port forwarding system has now started, and this is my new URL that I have got. I'm going to turn this to a public port, and I'm going to copy this URL over here. But before that, let me quickly show you something. So this is my dashboard, and this should show me any kind of event that this webhook receives. This is going to show me over here. Okay, I'm going to go back to my ports. I'm going to copy this and come back to my GitHub repo. And over here in this repo, I'm going to go to my settings and go to webhooks. And then I'm going to say add a webhook. And over here, I'm going to add this def tunnel address and add a suffix called webhook. Turn the application content type to be application JSON, and this will always require a secret. So I've got a secret, and this is my super secret webhook key, which I'm going to copy and paste over there and then add this. Okay, one more change over here actually. So inside the events, I'm going to say send me everything, because this is just for demo. I'm not going to point to one particular event over here, and I'm going to say update the webhook. Okay, then I'm going to go back to my webhooks, and it says that the last delivery was successful. So I should have received something, and yes, I did. So now every time someone changes anything on that repository, I would get a webhook ping over here or some kind of GitHub event. My webhook will be able to catch that. So this is very useful when you are actually trying to test a Stripe payment response or something which requires you to use a webhook. You would need a real URL for such kind of testing. So this dev tunnel becomes quite handy over there. And then when I'm done, I'm going to stop it, and it has now stopped. Okay, that's it. But anyone like me who has been a .NET developer most of his life, I would really appreciate if I could get this feature with Visual Studio also. So yes, we have got this feature in Visual Studio also. Now this is another example over here that I've got for you. This is a simple weather API project. It has got just one endpoint, that is API/weather, and I could very easily run this on my local host. And here we go, I've got a very beautiful Swagger UI coming up. But let's say if I want to, demo this API to someone, I cannot really give him localhost URL, right? So for that, let's come to this debug option over here. Let's hit this drop down button, and over here we would see this dev tunnels coming up. Now over here, just hit create a tunnel. Now choose your Microsoft account or your GitHub account, give it some name, then choose the tunnel type if you want it to be permanent or if you want to be temporary. So I'm going to choose temporary over here, and inside the access, just choose your public. Just choose whether you want a public, private, or an organizational level access. I'm going to keep it private, and I'm going to hit OK. Now your tunnel is set up, and now if you try to debug this application, you would get this different URL. Of course, you will have to sign in using your Microsoft the way we did it in VS Code. And yes, so now this API or this page is now being rendered over my dev tunnel. And now I can share this URL to my testing team, to the client, or to the project manager. And if I try to test this, it works just pretty fine, and I get a few weather objects. Cool. That is dev tunnels in VS Code and Visual Studio. Same infrastructure, but different entry points. To sum it all, this is what you did in this video along with me. You shared a React app across devices without even touching the actual deployment part. You received a real GitHub webhook on your local machine and hit a breakpoint on it. And you did all of it by just forwarding a port. So next time someone says, I want to see what you are working on, you don't need a staging server to show him what you have built. You just need your VS Code open. So this video saved you some pain. Smash the like button, subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell icon so that you don't miss the next video that I built. And most importantly, if you want this to be taken even further, put a comment what do you want to see, and I'll take this even further. Okay, and I'll see you in the next one.